All right, so you're in the gym, you're pushing yourself, and you feel that awesome burn, right? And then over a few weeks or months, you start to see it. Your muscles are actually getting bigger, stronger, more defined. It's an incredible feeling. But have you ever really thought about how that transformation happens? Like, what's the real science behind it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
You definitely feel the burn, you feel the work. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's actually going on inside your body to make that growth happen? Because it's not magic. It's this incredibly cool and super efficient biological process called muscle hypertrophy. And you know what? Understanding how it all works is really the key to unlocking the results you've been working so hard for.
So where does this whole journey begin? Well, the very first step to building bigger, stronger muscles is, believe it or not, damaging them. Yeah, I know, that sounds totally backwards, but stick with me. It's a very specific, controlled kind of damage that actually kickstarts the entire process.
Okay, so when you do resistance exercises, you're putting your muscle fibers under a whole lot of stress. This creates these teeny tiny microscopic tears. The scientific name for this is microtrauma. Now, the word tear sounds kind of bad, right? But these aren't injuries like you might think. They are the absolute critical signal that tells your body, hey, it's time to rebuild.
The most important thing to get here is that this damage is actually a good thing. It is the catalyst for all the growth that follows. You know that muscle soreness you feel maybe a day or two after a really tough workout? Well, that's often a sign of this microtrauma. It's your body letting you know that you've given your muscles a really good reason to adapt and come back even stronger.
So once that signal, that good damage, has been sent, your body just launches this incredible immediate response. Seriously, think of it like a highly trained emergency crew showing up on the scene ready to get to work.
First up, your immune system kicks into gear. Blood rushes to the area, and it brings along these inflammatory cells that act like a cleanup crew. Their job is to clear out all the cellular junk and debris from those micro tears. This is a totally natural, totally essential part of the recovery. But here's where it gets really interesting. That inflammation does something else. It activates these amazing things called satellite cells. You can think of them as dormant muscle stem cells that are just kind of hanging out, waiting. And that damage signal, that's their wake-up call to get to work. The builders have been awakened.
And this is where the magic really happens. The site has been prepped by the cleanup crew, the builders have been activated, and now the process of actual, real, measurable growth can finally get started.
So these activated satellite cells, they travel right to the spot where the microtrauma happened, and they do something pretty remarkable. They literally fuse with your existing muscle fibers. And during this fusion process, they donate their cellular material and, this is the most important part, they donate their nuclei to the muscle fiber. Now, why are those new nuclei such a big deal? Well, because more nuclei mean the muscle fiber has more, let's call it, cellular machinery to run the show. And the main show is a process called protein synthesis. This is the absolute core mechanism where your cells build new proteins. Those proteins then get woven into the muscle fiber, which is what makes it thicker, stronger, and way more resilient than it was before.
And here it is, the transformation in a nutshell. On the left, you've got a single muscle fiber that's been stressed, and on the right, you see the result of that entire amazing repair process, a stronger, thicker fiber. See, your body didn't just repair the damage, it overcompensated. It built itself back better and stronger to handle that kind of stress in the future. That is hypertrophy in action.
Okay, but this whole repair and growth factory, it can't run on its own. To make any of this work, it needs two critical, totally non-negotiable things from you: the right fuel and the right amount of recovery time. First off, fuel. And specifically, we're talking about protein. Protein gives your body the amino acids, which are the literal building blocks for creating all that new muscle tissue. And second, you absolutely need rest. Quality sleep is prime time for muscle growth. It's when your body releases crucial hormones, like growth hormone, that basically direct the whole repair and rebuilding operation.
I mean, think of it this way, right? Working out without enough protein is like trying to build a brand new house without any bricks. It's just not going to happen. And skipping out on your sleep? That's like forcing your construction crew to work 24/7 with no breaks. They're just going to burn out. So you can create all the microtrauma you want in the gym. But without these two essential pieces, real, effective growth is just not going to happen.
Okay, so you've done it. You've damaged the muscle, you've repaired it, and it's grown a little bit. Awesome. But how do you keep that progress going? Because your body is smart, and it adapts pretty quickly. To keep growing, you have to keep challenging it.
And this leads us to the principle of progressive overload.
All this really means is that you need to gradually, over time, increase the demands you're placing on your muscles, whether that's by lifting a little heavier, doing a few more reps, or just upping the intensity. This is what makes sure you're always creating that initial microtrauma that you need to restart that whole growth cycle.
And that's pretty much the whole process. You challenge the muscle, you refuel and rest to let it rebuild stronger, and then you come back and you challenge it again with just a little more intensity. It is this beautiful, powerful, self-improving loop that your body is perfectly designed to run.
It's pretty fascinating when you break it down, isn't it? Your body is just this incredible machine, always adapting and rebuilding. So now that you know the science behind it all, I'm curious. What's your go-to exercise for kickstarting this whole process? Drop a comment below and let us know.